Welcome back. In this session, we will learn about regular expressions, one of the most important features in many programming languages that allow us to detect some patterns, and also in JavaScript, it allows us to validate form, and we can also use it for different purposes, just to look for some patterns or maybe to clean some data. But in other fields or disciplines like data science, machine learning, data analysis, most importantly, regular expression is used for data cleaning. It's very important. And I would say it's really good to know how to use regular expression. Right away, I will go straight to regular expression and how to use it in JavaScript. And as we have seen also, this very important application that allows you to learn how to use regular expression. As I told you, as you can see, there are this slash, forward slash, and this is the different flags. And then you can say, you can write something here. I love people are great. Now, if we are looking for the word love, as you can see, I found it here. Yeah. So, but if I say love is great, this was not detected. So I can add global. Global means look for the pattern or this string in all the text. As you can see now, I managed. How about if I say love is capital? Love is the most important thing in this world. As you can see now, this love was not detected, so you may actually change it to case insensitive. That means it just ignore the lowercase and the uppercase. It just look for the word. If the word matches, it will be detected or it will be found. So we can use this, and as I told you, we can also use different syntax for this. For instance, if we write A, B, C, BC, so it means A or B or C. It doesn't mean ABC as in a string, okay? This means actually another way, A to C. So we write to say A to Z, that means all the letters A to Z. Now, if I remove this, the case insensitive, you may see the uppercases are not detected. So you can actually capture the uppercases with A to Z like this. By the way, I think we can also use this like this. W represents actually all alphanumeric characters, as you can see. And if you make it capital, that means the opposite. Yeah, anything which is not alphanumeric characters. So we can also use this to negate. Now, as you can see, this was just targeting only the spaces. And if you add this negation, that means actually, yeah, again, A to Z, lowercase and uppercase. Yeah, I think it's better if we see the step by step. So now let me just also now A to Z, as I said, A to Z or A to Z. So a short version of this would be slash WY slash, because now if we use slash W, it means we are not talking about the character W, but this is a special character. Yeah. So that means any character. And also, as I told you this, for instance, if we say like this, maybe if I say 1 maybe I think I can say anything with 3 characters, as you can see, any letter from, but I can, any letter that is case insensitive, and only 3 word with only 3 letters. Oh, this doesn't fulfill, but this one. Now, as you can see, yeah, but these aren't word, as you can see. Maybe we can close that with this. But that's also the end. So it doesn't work in here. So we have to go through each word. But anyway, as you can see, we managed to detect the word boundaries. I'm not sure if it works, word boundaries regex in JavaScript. It works in Python, word boundary. Yeah, then maybe I think it's working. Let me try that. Yeah, I have to have that boundary too. Yeah, as you can see now, we are looking for a word. As you can see, B, this means bound. So it should be a word. Okay, and as you can see, the are the only words with 3 characters. And if you change this to 4, and now I can target them, as you can see, word, love, most, yeah. And then if you are interested, 3 and above, 3 and above, as you can see, it doesn't need a space, by the way, here. As you can see, I managed to target words that are 3 or more characters. Yeah. It could be also numbers if you are, does it target numbers? Yeah, actually these targets characters and numbers too. But how do we use this in JavaScript? Let's see. Today, maybe I think it's better to write a separate folder. I call it Regex. And let me create regex.js. And maybe we can have also index.html, a file. And for some reason, it's changing to oh, great. And script source dot regex. Great. First, let's run this. That's how we where did I go? I should go here. Which did I run? No, that's the other page. I have to go to here, but sorry for that. I have to target this file. Yeah, there's nothing here. And let's see, by writing something, console.log, this is a regex, yeah? And let's see, Control-Shift-I, and we can open this, the regex, great. So let's put it to the other side and put this also to the left side, and we can work. Now, I will just, as you can see, let pattern love. This is a string, right? This is a string. Yeah, so, but in regex, if we write something, for instance, const the pattern or anything, you can call this anything. If you write love, something like this, actually, this we call it regex. Or you can also write it in a new regex, and you can just write love. So this is regex expression, okay? But I'm in favor of this one, love. This is just very good for me. And this, and you can call it the way you can write G or I, or G means global, look for all the text. Now, but now let's see step by step. And then actually we have here, I will just take this, const. As you can see, const, I love JavaScript, it says. And then I have the pattern, we are looking for lab in this string. And let's see, how do we get const result? I'm about to store the result here. But before just storing the result, I can say just console.log. I can say, hey, pattern dot test, and then I can pass the string, as you can see. The pattern is this one, and I have inside the pattern, I have this test method, and I pass this. And if there is love in this text, I will get a Boolean true. So let's see if we have a Boolean value. Yeah, true. Let's change this to capital. What do you think? It becomes false. Can you tell me why it becomes false? Because our pattern is lowercase. So how can I can make this I? That means it doesn't matter if it's lowercase or uppercase. Yes, that's great. But the test allow us to detect, to find if it exists or not. It doesn't give us the number of matches, okay? It doesn't give us the number of matches. So it doesn't really help much, but it's very good also to detect. If it exists, do this. If it doesn't, also do something else to say. So there is this, the method test. Let me say Python is a great language. And if I say now, this Python, if I change this to a Python, do you think I will find it? Okay, why I didn't find it? Tell me why I didn't find it. Tell me, guys.
It's missing a H.
Missing? Yeah, missing H. Okay, that's true. Another. Oh, surprisingly, even though it's, yeah, but because of H now it was found, and even it doesn't matter because of this. But if I put this, the bound, but for some reason it's not working, the bound here. Yeah. Yes, in Python we can pass bound like that. So yeah, we can use another way. How to write a word bound in Regex.js. Remember, you have this. Okay. It should be. Yeah, I made a mistake. So the word bound should be inside these two signs, as you can see. Yeah, it does. Yeah, the way I wrote the first time, it doesn't make sense, because if you put this outside this curl, these two slashes, it doesn't make sense, because the regular expression starts here and end is here. And in the other side, of course, we can add flags. It could be I, it could be G, or it could be M. We have a couple of flags. The flags I'm talking about are actually these flags. If you remember the different, like the global, multi-line, it goes to multi-line, case insensitive, and single line, and there are different flags. Most of the time we use I or G. Most of the time I and G, or just G or not. Yeah. Okay, let's see. As you can see now, false. The reason why Python is not word bounded because there is this dot. So if I remove it from that, it should be true. Why? Because I have removed the case insensitivity. Yes. Let me just get it back. Really? I was thinking that this should be, yeah, because the word bound actually didn't care, maybe this the don't. Let me then check if script pass or not, or maybe Java. So yeah, Java, as you can see, there's no the word Java here, but it's just because it's not bounded. But in the case of Python, it didn't care for this, the dot. So let's write again, Python. Yeah, it was true. Python does exist. So it didn't matter if there's a space or not here. Great. Now let's move on to other methods. For instance, match returns an array containing all the matches, including capturing groups, or null if no match is found. If there's no match, yeah, this match is so powerful. By the way, match, the way it works here and in other programming languages is so different. Now, I have this, I can say string dot match, and then I will pass the pattern. What's the pattern? And then let's just forget about and just write lab here. And let's print this out. Oh, what? Oh, no. Yeah, that's the problem of doing match language, console.log, because I cancel from here. Oh, have you seen what I got? I got an array. Love actually exists in this text at index 2, 0, 1, 2, and the input, yeah, the input, it's like this one. I love JavaScript. Python is a great language, and the groups is just another their method. So maybe even you can find there. So I can store this value in a state. Let's store this result as in match. I usually call it const matches. I call matches, yeah, string.match, and then let's print console.log the matches. Yeah, this, but how about if we have many, I love Python 2, or I love Python 2. Lab index 2, but why it didn't change? Yeah, do you know why? It didn't change, right? Because it's just match, and I have to use the G, and it can go further. Have you seen now? Because it just found only the first one, and it gave me information about the match, but it didn't go further. But if you make it global, it just look for all the labs. How many labs do I have now? 2 labs in here. So how about if I don't have anything, for instance, hate? There's no hate speech in here. Now remember, match returns, match returns an array if there is a match, if there is a match, or a null if there is no match. If there is no match. Great. This is very important concept, by the way. Very, very important concept. Yeah, let's move on. The other thing is actually replacing. Yeah, replacing is very important. So I can just copy this text. It says Python is the most powerful language that a human being has ever created. I recommend Python for a first programming language. Yes. So as you can see, to replace, you can say, hey, text, replace, and then Python written in uppercase or Python in lowercase by JavaScript, and then you will get the corrected or the replaced one or the cleaned one. So let's see the value. As you can see, JavaScript is the most powerful language, but you can also write this shorter, in a shorter way. You can just write Python, and then what you should write, say, get, yeah, it doesn't matter if it's lowercase or uppercase, and change it to JavaScript. Yeah, so JavaScript has been changed. Oh, really? But it seems that here it was not changed. Let's see the previous code. Yeah, it didn't change this one also with the previous code. We should have used maybe G. Yep. Have you seen now? Have you seen the power of G? Yeah, so this material needs correction. I should have used G. Oh, but there is G here. Why I didn't? Oh, there was G already. Yeah, so maybe I made some change here. Anyway, G is important. And then as you can see, all the Python has been replaced by JavaScript and JavaScript. So we can use a replace. What other important methods do we have when it comes to regular expressions? As you can see, we have some different methods here. And I would recommend you to go through. But let me just show you. What methods did we learn so far? The test method. The test method goes actually first the pattern, and then test, and then the string. Okay. And then match. The match is actually, it goes with hey, string, and then match, and then the pattern, as you can see. And then actually we learn also replace, string dot replace. And then we have to have the pattern. And then the value we want to replace, right? The new value. I can call it new value. This is how it looks like. These are very important methods or techniques to remember when it comes to regular expression. This return a Boolean. It's going to be true or false, true or false. And this is going to be, if there is a match, it's going to be an array, or it's going to be a null. This is going to be, it returns again a string. Yeah, you should know this, and it really helps quite a lot. Yeah, but how can we use this, when it comes to web programming? Yeah, before I move that, let me just go through some of the points that we didn't cover. I think we have seen this A to C, A to Z, A to Z, uppercase, 0 to 3, that means either 0 or 1 or 2 or 3, 0 to 9, that means all numbers. And this means all English characters or numbers. And this is an escape character. We use it, for instance, /D means, it doesn't mean D, but it has a special meaning. And that means all all digits. And this means the opposite of this. I can show you. If you say this, but I think it's better if I say this. I mean, that means all digits. Now, if I write 1, it will be detected, as you can see. Yeah. Great. This one means any character except new lines, just the dot. And this one is negation. Sometimes it acts like to start. Maybe I can show you again. For instance, if you write something like this, love. Now this text starts with I, right? But if it starts with love, it will be detected, or as you can see, yeah, because it starts with love. That means starts with love, this, if you have this symbol. But if you use the same, this caret, and if it is in this, the square bracket, that means negation. If you say the same A to Z, that means not A to Z. Now, as you can see. But now, as you can see now, what is, and let me just remove the case insensitivity. As you can see, the upper cases are still selected because we don't have upper cases. If I want to also exclude the uppercase, I can say now, yeah, all the lowercase and the uppercase English letters has been excluded, but the numbers were not. So this is a way to exclude or negate some pattern. Great. Yeah, for instance, if you say like this, not A or not B or not C. This one is ends. So this, the dollar sign is ends. Let's see, for instance, let's just forget this. For instance, if I say love, maybe you don't have to. I can say, I can just show you love. And if I say end Swiss, nope. But if I just put love here, yeah, because this sentence ends with love. Yeah, so this is just to know if something ends with love. Okay, another, now let's come to this star or the asterisk, and let's see the meaning of that. If I say A to Z, and I can say this star, it means actually 0 or more times. Really? Anything? Is there any, let me show you. Is there a match? There is a match, but I don't have anything here. How? Because this means 0 or more. How about if I have A? Maybe I can say just A, okay? I don't have A, but there is a match because this, the symbol itself says it doesn't matter if it exists or if it exists many times. So now, as you can see, I have a match. Yeah. Great. So as you can see, I have matches. But how about if I change this to plus? Okay, and let me just ignore this if I don't have no match, because the plus means 1 or more times. At least it should exist 1 times. Okay, great. And now how about this question mark? The question mark actually 0 or 1 times. 0 or, so it's a kind of optional. Yeah, if it exists, okay. If it doesn't, if it exists, it should be once. If it doesn't exist, it's also okay. Yeah, now we're just looking at the different options. We saw this and this. Now let's see this, the quantifiers. We call them quantifiers, I think. Actually, not only that's a quantifier. If you see all these, the asterisk, the plus, the question mark, and all this, we call them quantifiers because it's related to amount. It quantify. Okay, now let's see this. Now, if I have this, that means it should be exactly 1 times. For instance, A to Z, anything A to Z, it could be A to Z. I love Python and people, whatever. And we can also make it A to Z, capital. So as you can see, it says 1. So this by itself is like by itself satisfy because 1, these are represent 1. But if you make a word bound, if you remember, word bound is something like this. So we have to also make a word bound in the other side. Yeah, so 1 times, yeah, I have to have a global. I have a global, but wait. Do I have to make the word bound here? No. Yeah, maybe I think that's a bit different. No. Anyway, here, as you can see, 1, everything is matching. So as you can see, but if I change this to 2, the word bounding is not going with this, the quantifier. Now, as you can see, 2, that matches 2. So let's see, this qualifies and this qualifies, this qualifies. How about 3? Yeah, this qualifies, but this doesn't. And how about 4? Yeah, this qualifies. And how about 5? 6, only this and this are the word that qualifies 6 character, right? Yeah, I think now you got how, and there are different different symbols. For instance, this is the new line, and this is return, and this is the tab. And I think you learn them step by step, but this is the same A, B, C, D. It's the same A, B, C, D. This is not A or B or C or D. And this is the backspace, as you can see, and this is means a digit, a non-digit space. Space can be, you can create a space like this or like this. Both are the same. This, I mean, just like this or this space. Okay, now let's connect everything we learn using this our JavaScript. Yeah, so maybe I think it's better to write some JSX here. I mean, some form. Maybe I can write some form input element, and if I have, okay, good. I have about yeah. Okay, maybe I can just call some of the input name, first name, and name, last name, name, age. I think this is good enough, yeah? So if we go maybe placeholder, I can say placeholder, first name, right? And placeholder, last name. And again, placeholder, age. And let's see what we get. Oh yeah, so yeah, it's good. But I think it's too, for me, I don't like it when it's everywhere like that. So I want to just make it maybe a lazy way. Let's do it. We can just leave a break here, and that will help us to have it. But usually I use div. Yeah, I have this form, so I can say to validate this, maybe it's better to put it in a form. Usually we put this in a form, and we can have submit button, and the button will be for input type should be submit, okay? And the value could be also submit. I like mine like this. Yeah, it's normal for HTML page to refresh whenever you click this. Yeah. So I think HTML by itself has some validation. Let me show you something. If you have, for instance, email, if the type is email, actually, it may ask you to validate name, email, and placeholder, email. And let me show you something here. And I just want to have a break also for that. Okay. I'm surprised. Type email. Should ask. This doesn't really matter, but just correct it. I was expecting that. Okay, maybe I can say something like this. Yeah, have you seen this? Yeah, this is by default. I didn't add this. Please include add in the email address. In HTML5, there is by default a form validation. It's by default. So now, by the way, how many attributes do you know for HTML? Tell me. I mean, HTML input. Now I have put this, type, name, placeholder. For instance, I can add ID and I can call it also. Again, first name. Oh, am I outside? I should have put this. I don't like it without that. And you can have a class name, you can have a value. There is a pattern actually. The pattern is actually a default. I mean, it has attribute pattern. Can I add pattern? Yes. I can write, yes, it should be, for instance, A to Z, it could be capital 2, and then I can call it this to this, but I don't want my users to put number for their first name, as you can see. Yeah. And how many? Let me try. Maybe someone's name could be, the smallest could be 2 and the maximum could be, let me make it relaxed. Maybe someone may have 22 characters name. Have you seen? So I can write my validation like this. And let's try to write something. And if I say, have you seen now? Please match the requested format. Okay, how about if I add a additional 1 letter? Yeah, it didn't say anything. So that means actually it works somehow haphazardly, but it didn't give me any better feedback. Are you guys following? Did you get the point?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
How about if it was the number, whatever? Have you seen that? Because this doesn't, if you see our regex, our regular expression pattern, hey, I want it to be characters, lower or upper. And it should be between 2 and 22. Now, even let's be very strict. We want the first letter to be, capital. So if we want the first letter to be capital, A to Z. And then imagine this going to hold the first letter. And then after the first letter, the letters should be all the time lowercase. Maybe let's be relaxed. I think it could be also uppercase. And then now, since this already hold one value, so let's say 1. From 1 to 22, now whenever we write, it should be John, like this. If you write it John, it shouldn't work. Let me show you. Now, if I may start like J, please match the requested format. How about if I add O? It shouldn't work. Yeah. Of course, John. Then please help me. How can I make it work? By changing this to uppercase J. Because I want every first name and last name to start with uppercase. Because, yeah, now it worked. So now we finished our pattern. If I want this to be for the first name, I want it to be also for the last name, because last name is also a name that should have similar properties or similar character, similar property with the first name. Yep. Okay. Now let's go for age. And how about, let's see, we can actually restrict these people, underage or minors. And for instance, we can say pattern, and our pattern should be numbers. Okay, it should be just a number 0 to 9. And okay, how can we strict this? It might be tough now to detect if a person is underage, or, but we can but at least we can limit it, because, for instance, if someone tried to put a 4-digit number, we can't make it work. So it should be between 2 and 4 digit. So that means the numbers is going to be like someone 10, 11, and then of course 100, because 3-digit, and it goes all the way to 1,000 or 2,000, 4-digit, but it doesn't go more than that. Still, this is a little bit, because now this pattern is not good enough, because this is, we have to write our own pure JavaScript to do a proper validation. But still, let's see this one, how it works. Now, let me see if I put 2,000, 2,000, is it working? Yeah, it works. But if I put 9 years old, it does, oh, it worked. 9, let me check. How? Oh yeah, because I put this space. Space is really bad when it comes to regular expression. Now 9, have you seen? It didn't work for 9 years old. And even sometimes, you know, if you want to strip, like maybe if our age limit is like up to 100, if you can go to, you can make it 3-digit, the only 3-digit. Then if you try, for instance, if someone want to mess with your website, and if they put, it doesn't take. Okay, great. Now, what's the point here? I'm showing you that there is actually a possibility to use the built-in HTML pattern attribute to write some JSX. But now let's write our own JavaScript here. Yeah. Maybe I can go and make use of this itself. Yeah. So, but I think first I would like to add ID for all my. I can add ID. And I call this last name, and I call this age. And maybe if we are interested also, we can add, do we have email already? Yes, we can have for some reason, and ID, email. And maybe if we like also, we can add additional country if we want. And let's change this to text and country. And the ID is also going to be country. And this is going to be a country. And let's see what we have. First name, last name, age, email, country, as you can see. Okay, now we are about to learn some of the DOMs. Yeah, just forget about this for some time, or I can just comment it out. What? Undo. I told. Oh yeah, comment out. So let's target those value. First, I have to target the first value. I have to say document dot get element by ID, and I can pass first name. Yeah, so I can store this as in first name const first name input, and let's console.log first name input. So I have to see what, yeah, I'm capturing that value. And now what I'm trying to show you, instead of using this, let's make use of just regex by itself and write a proper validation, right? Yeah, I managed to capture. For instance, let me write my name as Sabena, and let me try to capture it. So to get the value, console.log first name input dot value. I think that will give me the value. Of course, you don't have it like when it. So we have to actually do some. What is this? Event handling. Event handling means click. When something is clicked, we have to get that value. So I can first handle this, the button. So how many buttons do I have? Actually, I have only one button. So let's just get console, the button document dot query selector. I like the query selector because it just selects the first button. And now let me just show you button dot add event listener, and then I want it to be click. When we click it, you don't have to, but let me show you. Alert, I am clicked. So let's see if we attached it first. Okay. Good notary property of null reading add event listener. So that means we didn't capture it. Because we don't have any button here. I can change this to a button, or I can give it an ID here whatsoever. Yeah, but I think it's better to change this to a button. And I can call the type. The type could be a submit button. And now if I click it, I forgot to put submit here. As you can see, I'm clicked. I am clicked. And then maybe now, whenever we click here, we have to get the value of something. I can just, for instance, let's see the value, but maybe I can even alert the value from here. Now let's see. If I put here Asabena, and if I just click, I should, yeah, I'm capturing it, right? Great. Yeah. So is it clear, guys? First, we managed to capture the input, and then we put this document.query selector. By the way, we can also use just query selector for everything. Yeah. For instance, document.query selector, and then ID. So the ID is like this. And also I can go for the last name. You can change this to last name, input, and last name. Yeah, and I can go again, and I can go for age input, and then this. And then again, we can go for country, country input. Country input, and then here again. So now, as you can see, I have all the fields, right? The first name, the last, and the age, and the country input. So I don't want this. And then I have the button, yeah? So I have the event handler here. So I can say let first name, I can first name input dot value. Now I'm extracting the value out. Let last name and first last name input dot value, and let age input, and then value, and then let country input. I thought we have a country input. Okay, yeah, country input, we have a typo, and the value. Okay, so now if we just do some alert from here, first name, last name, age, and country. Yep, let's try. I think my name is this. I can say Sabina, and type. Age is gonna be 250, and for some reason we didn't have the value. Why? Okay. How about if, as you can see, it's refreshing. Can we stop the refreshing? We can say e.prevent default. Okay. Now this allows us to stop the refreshing of the page. As you can see, it's not refreshing anymore. Count is not defined. Where's 36? Oh yeah, 36. Country, something like that. And okay, now let's try again, and 250, and let's try. But I got only my first name for some reason. Let's try again. Why? Because first name, last name, age, country. Oh, maybe I think we didn't have a proper ID for all. First name, last name, there's already last name, okay. Age, there's age also here. Email, we didn't use the email, but still we have a proper ID. And for the country, let's a text name, a country and placeholder, and this also good, but why? First name, last name, age, and the country. That's good. First name, value, last name, yes. Age, Oh, what happened? Well, maybe let me try it, 150, for instance. I didn't get it. Let me do console.log, console.log. Okay, empty is okay. Oh, now for some reason I don't see the value here, but now we get some data here. At least I can see my name, my last name, my country, but age didn't have data. Let's see age input and value, age input document, and then age. So let's check in here. ID age. ID, it's good. Help me out. I can't see that. I can't debug it now. Age input dot value. Country. But let's also get the email, by the way, in the meantime. Just email.
I think you didn't enter an age in the form.
Late email. Email input. Okay, what did you say?
I think you never entered an age on the form.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I was expecting without providing, right? That's weird. 250. Oh, thanks. Okay, great. Now, as you can see, guys, we got data. So the importance of regular expression, of course, now the user is trying to provide you data, but before you send this to the, what is this, the database, you have to validate it. Now, this is actually a kind of ready data, so you can say even instead of even like printing it like that, we can just printing it like in an object, as you can see now. Object, as you can see now sometimes. And shall we stop this annoying alert? Yeah, so if users are annoying, they may do this. Have you seen? They may do this empty data, and then your database will be populated with something like this. Okay, so instead what you should do, you have to force them to validate this. Okay, now let's write a regex, regular expression. So where should we write our regular expression? Let's write maybe somewhere here. We can actually put this in okay, I can put it like this. And maybe I can put some P, the P here. And then I can say first name must be between 2 and 22 characters. Yeah, I think that's good. Have you seen this? Yeah, but the problem is you will see this all the time, right? It should be hidden now. You will see this. You shouldn't see this only when you try to submit it, right? Okay, so now by default, it should be hidden. So we can hide all the p-values or something like that, or maybe with some technique. Style, maybe I can say, what was the input? I think we have this combinator, input plus p, and display none. So that means input plus p means the p next to input. It's gone now, as you can see. It's gone. Yeah, great. Okay, Then let's just validate one of that. And whenever we try to turn on, I mean, whenever it's a mistake, it should be displayed. This should be displayed. Okay, now let's write our regular expression for one of let's pattern. I could say regular expression, and I want to write it A to Z, capital or lower, and we want it to be from from 2 to 22. Yeah, this is the expression we want. Well, and before we submit, we have to check at least one of. Let's turn off all the others and let's start to validate one after another. Okay, so we can use the Boolean, but as you can see, I have to, I think this is good enough because this is really good enough. So let's see, console.log, and then I can say pattern.test, and then first name. I'm trying to check the first name if it satisfies, and let's see. Now if I write J, let me see, false. Why? Because I need at least 0. If I do just O, true. How about instead of O, if I put it just 0? False, because it takes only characters. We don't allow users to put numbers as in username. It gets false. And how about if we just write too much? Again, oh, maybe I think it didn't reach to 22. Oh. I think it's not working, so we have to check it. So why? I was expecting, because I think we should close it. And let me, because something is not working. Yeah. I will explain this to you guys. Yeah, let me see. Try this one, J. Let's try J, false. Joe, it should be okay. Yeah, true. And if I change this to 0, it should be false. And if we just try it forever and make it long, and it should be also false. Yeah, great. So let me show you this. The one this means actually it's a bounding, so it should start and stop, and this is, it should have just an end. So we need this a kind of a bound. So when we reach at some point, it should be like a kind of a binding. So whenever we write this JavaScript pattern, we need this and this. By the way, don't be confused with this carrots. If you write it inside here, it's negation. Yeah, so it works differently. So that means not A to Z, lower or upper, but it should be outside. Okay, and this also is just a byte, like for instance, if you find lab, it should stop there at lab. That means this end, it should end. So it's a kind of a boundary. We are just creating a boundary with this. Or maybe this can be also done with this B and instead B. This could be also achieved like that. So if you say Yeah, it's like a boundary that, as I told you. So it's up to you to this way or the other way. I am more familiar to this, but that's the both works. Now, okay, now instead of just printing, let's change this somehow differently. Now let's make then if first name, that means if it's true, we send it to the database, right? Else, we just give feedback. So we have to also target actually the P next to the that. So what I should say, maybe I can say one of the, for instance, const P document dot query selector P. I have now one P for the time being, and now I will show you here P dot style dot color rate and P dot style dot display block, because now we are displaying it. Maybe I think I have to put it the other. Yeah, so let's see if I write and click. I was expecting document.query selector P. P, am I right? P dot style. I should see it even now. Yeah, okay. Why? It has to be refreshed. Okay. Okay, as you can see now, yeah, do you know, have you seen this? Because there's nothing, so it doesn't fit. Let's start by refreshing J. Now I'm expecting the rate again. Why? Why? So let's see. First name. Oh yeah, sorry guys, because the pattern I'm checking here and I'm passing something wrong, okay? This should be the value, what I have to pass, yeah? Because this is the value. Oh, hey, pattern.test check. Even you can put it as in a test is equal to this one, pattern.test and first name, and you can just pass the test. If the test is positive, we send it. If not, yeah. Now let's try it. As you can see, because it's empty. If it's empty, actually, it tells us also it's empty, but it's generic for the time being. Now, if I say J, it should say, yeah, but how about if I add 10, I mean one additional character? It shouldn't, but still this is lingering, right? How about if I have whatsoever? Yeah, it's not, so still it has a problem. Because once we have this, it is still lingering. So what we should do, we have this value again back the other way. How do we do? P.style display none. At least I have to have this. Okay, let's try. Now, if it's, yeah, it works. And now let me just put 1, 2, 3. It shouldn't work because it's number. But how about if just J? Let's try. No. How about O? Now it should work. Yeah, have you seen? Now we made it work for, well, yeah, for this one. How do you make it work for all together and change this green when all the fields fulfill the requirement? That would be another challenge, right? How do you validate all of them once, and then when they pass, you make all these two? green and allow the user, even if all the fields are not actually validated, you can even disable this submit, and you can enable the submit only when all the fields are actually valid or validated. Yes. Do you have any question, guys?
No.
No.
Do you get the concept? Have you seen how it yeah, did you manage to connect regular expression with form validation? Did you understand where and how to use?
Yes.
Yeah, so that means now everything you see over here is somehow similar. Now let's try, even you can actually validate, you can try actually by submitting this field. Now, if I say for, but yeah, as you can see, first name must be I mean 2222, and Joe should pass, and yes, Joe is passed, and Doe should pass, and gender let's male, and country wherever, and profession is required, whatever profession, and company is not a required field. I can skip it. This has to be something, and other course or programs, this is not also, but I can say HTML, CSS, and JS, and this is not also required field. Testimonial is required. Rate the program or course. Let's see again. Now everything is passing, and testimonial field. I just love what you have been doing whatsoever. Let's be, yeah, as you can see, testimonial must be between 50 and 2,000 characters. So at least I have to reach to 52 to, okay. Love. Okay, love. Oh, at least it should be 50 by now. Yeah, now it reached 50, and then rate the program course, and let's say, does it allow negative? Let me see. A rating must be between 1 to 5, because I knew that people can make this negative, as you can see, 1 to 5, or maybe they make it also 0. So as you can see, 1 to 5. And then I made this also a link. By the way, you can even make your link to be a GitHub. You can identify, you can write a script that identify if it's really a LinkedIn link or not, or if it's really a GitHub link or not. So then you can prevent the users from just putting any link they get. And again, image, for instance, you can actually validate the image size. Do you want a square image, equal width and equal height, or any kind of image? By the way, it used to have a validation here, and let me show you. Then people suffer because they don't get image that is equal size, or they have to crop it or edit it. So they don't, it become a hassle for them to fill this field. Then we ended up with an image like this, oval shape. Yeah, so now I think you may understand the importance of regex. When it comes to web development, most of the time we use regex for form validation, and we made a tiny form validation here. And yeah, so we made a tiny form validation. But when it comes to other disciplines like data science, machine learning, we use regex for cleaning data cleaning, because most of the time we spend cleaning data. Yeah, so that's the importance of regex. Very, very popular and very useful. Yeah, thank you.